Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm RFK Jr., the third Jr., the fifth. And I will be reading today from the Book of the Food Pyramid, also called the Book of the Upside Down, concerning how the machine flipped thy diet, put bread where meat should be, and sold thee sickness dressed as guidance. Chapter 1. The pyramid that was built upside down. And in the year 1992, the United States Department of Agriculture published a pyramid. And the pyramid told the people what to eat. And the people obeyed because the pyramid came from the government. And the government had a department with the word agriculture in it. So it sounded like these people knew about food. At the base of the pyramid, the largest section, the thing the people were told to eat the most of was bread, cereal, rice, pasta, 6 to 11 servings per day. 6 to 11 servings of grain per day for a species that spent thousands and thousands of years eating animals, fat, and whatever it could pull from the ground. At the tiny, tiny top of the pyramid, the section marked used sparingly was fat. The thing every cell membrane in the body is made of. The thing the brain is 60% composed of. The thing that kept the species alive through every ice age, famine, migration across every continent. Used sparingly. The body is made of fat, and the government said, eat less of it. The body runs on fat, and the government said, replace it with toast. And the story of how this happened is not complicated. It is just not told. In the 1960s, a scientist named Ansel Keys published a study that linked dietary fat to heart disease. The study was called the 7 Countries Study. And it examined 7 countries. But Keys had data from 22 countries. And he chose the 7 that supported his conclusion and left the other 15 in the drawer. That is not science. That is a man looking for his keys under a streetlight because that's where the light is. And another scientist named John Yudkin said, it is not the fat, it is the sugar. And he published a book called Pure, White, and Deadly. And the sugar industry buried him alive. In 2016, researchers discovered documents showing that in 1967, the Sugar Research Foundation paid Harvard scientists the equivalent of $50,000 in today's money to publish a review that shifted blame for heart disease from sugar to fat. The 3 scientists published it in the New England Journal of Medicine. They did not disclose the payment, and the review helped shape dietary policy for the next 50 years. 3 men, $50,000, 50 years, the wrong answer. And the people ate the bread, and the people got fatter and sicker, and the machine said, eat more bread. Salah. And the USDA, the agency that published the pyramid, is the same agency that promotes the sale of American grain. The same agency that subsidizes corn and wheat and soy. The same agency that serves the agricultural industry and was then asked to also advise the public on what to eat. The agency that sells the grain to thee said to eat the grain. And this was not seen as a conflict of interest. It was seen as a food pyramid. And the people hung it on the wall of every school in the country and fed their children accordingly. Salah. And what happened next? It is not a mystery, for it is a graph. In 1980, before the dietary guidelines were published, the obesity rate in America was approximately 15%. By 2000, it was 30%. By 2020, it was 42%. The people followed the pyramid, the people got sick, and the machine said that the people were not following the machine, the pyramid, hard enough. When the prescription produces the disease, the machine does not change the prescription. It says, increase the dose. Chapter 2. The right side up. And now flip the pyramid over and see what the body actually needs. Not according to the agency that sells the grain, according to the body. At the base, the thing the body runs on, the thing that it was designed to use as primary fuel is fat. Animal fat, butter, tallow, lard. The fat my grandparents cooked with before the machine told them to stop and handed them a bottle of seed oil instead. Seed oils, canola, soybean, corn, sunflower, safflower. These did not exist in the human diet until the 20th century. They were extracted using industrial solvents at temperatures that damage the fat before it even reaches the body. They are in every processed food in the grocery store, and the body has no evolutionary relationship with any of them. My grandmother cooked in butter. She did not have a name for inflammation because she had none. Next is protein, meat, eggs, fish, the building blocks of muscle, bone, skin, hormones, neurotransmitters. The thing the body asks for when it is actually hungry, as opposed to when the blood sugar crashes from these 6 servings of grain. And the machine said, eat less meat. Meat is bad for the heart. Meat is bad for the planet. Meat is bad for the animals. And the people who said this funded the studies to prove it. And the studies were funded by the same grain and processed food industries that benefit when thou replaceth thy steak with thy soy patty. Next is vegetables, actual vegetables from the ground, not from a factory, not enriched with vitamins that were removed during processing and then sprayed back on like a cologne on a man who has not showered. Enriched, the word that means we took the nutrition out and then put some of it back in and called it a feature. And at the top, the smaller section, the thing to use sparingly is actually the grain, the bread, the cereal, the rice, the pasta, the thing the pyramid put at the base before. Grain converts to sugar in the body. The body stores excess sugar as fat. The fat accumulates. The inflammation increases. The insulin resistance builds. The doctor prescribes a medication. The medication manages the symptom. The grain stays in the diet, and the loop continues. The food made thee sick. The sickness made thee a customer. The customer funds the industry that sells the food. That is not a health crisis. That is a business model. And the machine will say, that is oversimplified. Nutrition is complex. Consult thy doctor. And thy doctor was trained using the same dietary guidelines that were written by the agency that sells grain based on the study that was funded by the sugar industry using the data that was cherry-picked by a man who left 15 countries in the drawer. Consult thy doctor, who was trained by the machine about a problem the machine created using the information the machine provided. That is not healthcare. That is a referral loop with a copay. The pyramid was upside down. The people followed it. The people got sick. And the machine opened a hospital and a pharmacy on every corner and called it progress. Flip the pyramid over. Eat what the body was designed to eat. And watch what happens when the machine loses its best customer. Thou wert never sick. Thou were misinformed. And the misinformation had a food group. Salah. And I hope you enjoyed that reading of the book of Food Pyramid, which was inspired by the book of Bullshitmachine, which is available on Amazon right now. As for the book of Food Pyramid, you can find that on bullshitmachine.net. But please refrain from going to bullshitmachine.com because that will take you to Fox News. And God knows that you don't want to go to Fox News. They might try and make you a Christian. Thank you, and have a blessed day.